Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A. We go over all latest news that happened during the week of mobile, answer your questions live. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. Do apologize for delaying on the videos this week. I really didn't have much time to edit or anything because I was doing final interviews. The good thing is it does look like I am going to be having my full-time job again. So I'm going to be starting as a new managerial role and I believe on the 19th is my first day. So just letting you guys know that is something that is coming up, and I will still try to maintain at least 3 videos per week, although I'm not sure how weekly tech deals will go on now that I'm working, so we'll have to wait and see how that works out. All right, now let's get to the news. All right, so basically Evan Blass was just like, here's everything. So full 360 views of every device and every color that it's coming out on. August 11th is Samsung Unpacked's day, so we'll have to wait and see how they get there. All right, now, first off, you can see the different colors. So you have white for the Fold 3. You have white, green, and black. And those are going to be the 3 colors for the Fold 3. Overall, pretty much exactly what we expect. No S Pen inside. The S Pen will be outside. Very similar to how the S21 is, where you have to have a case in order to have it. Hashtag side pen, because that is what the S stands for in this version. So that's going to be what we're getting. I mean, there is no surprises left with this device, unfortunately. In terms of the Flip 3, we are getting the purple, black. This looks like more of a cream color. I don't know why they would choose cream instead of white. I think the white looks so much cleaner. It's that panda look that Google made popular, and we'll get to that in a second. But that, I don't know, I just don't like the cream color. You have like a grayish kind of green here, or bluish kind of color. And those are the colors for, see, a black, purple, a creamish color, and like, again, an off color, which is either blue or it's a gray mixed with either blue or green. I can't really tell by this render completely. Then you have the S21 FE. Now this model is going to be coming down the line again in Q4 because of the chip shortage. But it will be coming in white. It will be coming in a yellowish green, like these off colors again that are just different for sure. Purple. And then we are also getting black. So you have your basic colors there. Then you have the Gear S4 Classic. So with this one, you have the white with the silver trim. Then you have the all black, black on black, matte black, everything edition, basically. And then you have the same ones, but the smaller size. So of course you are gonna get a smaller size for one of them as well. Then we move on to the Active series. This is the Galaxy Watch Active 4. So for the Watch Active 4, you have the white again with the silver. Then you have the green, which is kind of a really nice looking green. If I was gonna get the Active series, I might get this, but I do like the physical bezel. So I do believe that I will stick with the Classic series. And then you have, again, the white and silver. And then the beige, I want to say, and gold. So you have that one as well. And then again, the all black. And then again, the smaller sizes. You also have the Pixel Buds. So you have the interior, again, being the different colors. So you have the off green. You have the, I believe this is the purple. Yeah, purple. And then the black one inside. So all of them, 360 degrees. Or we have basically everything we were thinking, and everything's been confirmed. So yeah, the only thing we're really missing from Unpacked now is the pricing, which the pricing again is still rumored for the Fold 3 to be at $1,600, And for the Galaxy Flip 3, we're hearing anywhere from between $1,000 to $1,300, which was the original price from last year. I'm hoping that we get closer to $1,000. I think for every $100 they go down, they will sell another million devices. I honestly do believe that, just because if you have a phone priced at $1,000 that is a foldable, I think you're really going to take customers away from Apple even, because of the cool factor. And again, at $1,000, you're going for that kind of middle of the road high-end flagship, not the highest of the high end. So I think people at that price point might not be okay with like, oh, okay, the cameras are good, but not great. You know, those kind of things I think will really stand out. The video quality is really good. So yeah, I think, again, I think for every 100 they go down in the Flip 3, I think they'll sell another million, but we'll have to wait and see how well they do. Again, let me know in the comments section, what are you looking forward to with this? Like, what is the thing that you are looking forward to at Unpacked? Which device are you most interested in? Let me know in the comment section down below. For me, I will probably be getting the Flip 3 and this all black Galaxy Watch 4 Classic. Okay, now the real big one that I was so excited for was the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro. This is something that I am super happy that we're getting these specs, because this does look like a beast. Okay, so first of all, let's go through them both. So again, this comes from FPT, and he did a video on it earlier this week, and then this is the website version of it. So for the Pixel 6, which is the entry-level version of the two, or I guess you could say it's the starter flagship, 6.4-inch display, AMOLED, 50 megapixel wide camera or main camera, and 12 megapixel ultra wide. So this one does not have a telephoto camera. 8 megapixel front camera, 4,600 milliamp battery, nice battery size for the smaller version, especially with that kind of screen size. I'm really hoping we get some really good battery life with that. 8 gigs of RAM and 128 to 256 gigs of storage. Love it. I think that's really solid. It's a solid flagship, and depending on the price point it goes with, that will be really the key feature. Now, these are going to have a couple of main things, which is, again, Google's own processor. So they are confirming this will be Google's first processor of their own. So I'm very excited to see that. You also will get one of the first, I think, phones out there with Wi-Fi 6E, which is a new standard. It really is, routers are barely coming out with it this year. So I don't see it as that big of a deal, but it's more future-proofing for the long run. Then you have the Pixel 6 Pro, and this is a beast, and I am definitely getting this phone. So this one is a 6.7-inch display. Now, there is an important thing to note with these two OLED displays, which is Samsung is making the Pixel 6 display, whereas LG is making the Pixel 6 Pro display. Now, that does worry me a little bit, because we've known that, you know, LG did not do a good of job with the OLED displays as Samsung did. But again, I'm assuming this is because of shortage situations. So they are going with the POLED from LG for the Pixel 6 Pro, but that's just something you need to know that I'm a little cautious of. Again, 50 megapixel main camera, 48 megapixel telephoto on this one, and 12 megapixel ultra wide. Now, the one thing I will say, 12 megapixel front camera too, so that's going to be some really good selfies. Especially, you have to realize the big thing about Google upgrading all these cameras is that Google already had arguably the best photo quality without upgrading their cameras for 5 years, basically. They have now upgraded their cameras. So the fact that we're getting a 50 megapixel with pixel bending technology, telephoto, that's a 48 megapixel telephoto. This is going to be the best zoom probably we've seen, honestly. I mean, at least comparable to the Ultra. I can't wait to test those two out in comparisons. Ultra wide, I feel, is the one that keeps getting left out. I swear I do believe 2022 is going to be the year of the ultra wide. I think we're going to start to see more improvements on the ultra wide because we haven't seen as many improvements on the ultra wide for a while now. 5,000 milliamp battery, which is really awesome, and 12 gigs of RAM with, again, starting off at 128, 256, or 512. Now, the only thing I would say is that I wish that the Pro would start off at 256 gigs, or depending on the price point, of course, is going to be the big thing. I think more than anything, if it's a lower price, then I think most people will be okay with it, but that's just one thing that I'm keeping in mind. And the other big thing that kind of exploded in terms of holy heck, you know, that this is going to happen is that apparently he has heard that for the next devices, they're going to get at least 5 years of updates. Now that's huge, and I think it has to deal with not only, of course, you know, competition and everything that Apple is putting pressure on Google, but I think the biggest thing is the fact that when you get this kind of combination, the biggest thing that I think Google obviously has the advantage with this time around that Apple's had the advantage for years is they're making the processor. So since they're making the processor, they know the hardware to the software end to end. And that will allow them to, I think, more future-proof it than using Qualcomm's processor. So very excited for that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Are you excited for the Google Pixel 6 or Google Pixel 6 Pro? Because I am super psyched for the Pro. I mean, I haven't said it for a long time, but I mean, again, we didn't have a Note this year. We did not have a Samsung Note this year. And to be quite honest, the Pixel 6 Pro looks like it might not only challenge the S21 Ultra, that is the best flagship that Samsung is offering in 2021, but it might beat it. Very curious to see how this goes. Very curious to hear your guys' thoughts. 5 years of updates, 5,000 milliamp battery, 12 gigs of RAM, 6.7-inch OLED, 50 megapixel camera from Google, 12 megapixel selfie camera that probably will be the best selfies on Android. Like, there is a lot going for this phone, and I am just here for it. Like, I am just so excited for this phone. This phone is my now most anticipated phone for the rest of the year. I'm sorry, Samsung, you kind of dropped the ball on the Fold 3 by not upgrading the camera quality, in my opinion. So, yeah, this is the one I'm looking forward to. Let me know what you guys think. Now, on that front, the thing you have to know about the Pixel 6 is it's being made by Samsung. Samsung is making both of these devices. All the hardware from it, the processor is coming from Samsung. They're actually the one, Google designs it just like Apple designs it, and then Samsung is making it just like Samsung makes Apple processors along with TSMC. So the thing you have to realize is Samsung is one that makes a lot of processors out there. So now they're getting started on their 3 nanometer processors that we talked about last week that TSMC was getting started with. They're getting started at the end of next year, and Samsung has already said they will also be able to start next year. So that's really big. I'm very excited to see how this goes, but it really is very interesting to see the beginning of a 3 nanometer processor. Just because we're only getting better and better, and different designs in how these processors are made are only going to improve the speeds more and more. It will be eventually a law of diminishing returns. I don't think, once we get to this area, it can only get so much faster, right? But it's crazy to think how much faster it will get. I do believe, honestly, I've been taking a look at emulators this week on my Samsung tablet. Been playing, there's Wii emulators now. There are PS2 emulators now. So, like, we are getting to the point where I do believe we'll have, PS4 graphics on Android devices and things like that within the next 5 years. So that's really something to behold, like the fact that we're going to get these kind of things. I mean, I was really surprised that there was a Wii emulator. There was, newer emulators out there for the Wii U and PS4 and PS3 and all this kind of stuff. None of them really worked. They seem like scams. But that is just exciting to see that that's what we're going forward with. I will tell you that it was really cool playing Mario Kart Wii on my tablet this week. It was just an awesome kind of like, man, this is so cool. The fact that we're able to do this. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about all this kind of stuff, but I think it's great, and I really am excited to see what else we'll be able to see. All right. Now, in not so good news for Google, Google is being sued for all of these different things, but mainly its monopolistic tendencies when it comes to their store. Now, this is something obviously that's been going on with Apple right now. Apple is being sued by Epic. So all of this is going down right now with their app stores, and everyone's beginning to question, is 30% too high? Should you be allowed to download things from other stores? And so there's been a lot of things found out in this case that's being presented right now. It's not going anywhere yet, but the biggest thing that the headlines all grabbed was Google basically tried to kill Samsung's store before it happened. Obviously, it didn't work. Samsung's store did come about, but there was also other things that have been taken measures more recently. And it involves Epic, which obviously isn't a whole thing with a similar context with Apple. And basically, not only did they try to stop Samsung from really popularizing their store, which obviously it did very well. I think the Galaxy Store is probably the best Android store alternative. I would actually choose it over Amazon, but that's just me. I think it really has a lot going for it. The one thing that they also tried to do, though, is with Fortnite. Basically, Epic wanted to have Epic Games Store preloaded on OnePlus and LG, and Google basically stopped it. Google basically told OnePlus, no, we don't want you to do this. And apparently they told the same thing with LG, just so they wouldn't lose out on their money. It's very shady stuff. It's very things that, like, I am in favor of open source. And I think Google has an advantage, obviously, over that they are more open than Apple is. I think Apple is overall going to lose a lot of this battle. And it makes sense for them to lose, because you should be able to get apps outside of the Apple App Store. You should be able to. You should not need to go through that store only. And Google has proven that it works. Android has been that way since the beginning. Guess what? So is Mac OS. By the way, they basically admitted in court, Apple admitted that Mac OS is basically a failure in comparison to iOS, because although they do this for Mac OS, they're like, well, yeah, but we get viruses every year on Mac OS. We don't have that problem with iOS. If Mac OS would be as big as iOS, we couldn't control it. So it's just a very funny thing for Apple's lawyers to kind of admit to how bad they are. So yeah, it's really kind of interesting to see all the ins and outs of all this kind of stuff in court. But the main thing that you should know is, yes, that has happened. Now, in another thing besides the courts, I do want to mention one thing very briefly. But I just want to let you know why it's a good thing. We don't like to talk about politics here, but net neutrality is coming back. And it's just been introduced. But the reason why that's so important is because I think everyone is happy that net neutrality is back. The only people not having net neutrality benefits is the cable companies, the DirecTVs, the internet providers, all those people. Those are the only things that they're the only ones that benefit from this not being in place. Net neutrality is actually going to make it so that people can't influx things and do all this kind of stuff. So I'm very happy that it's back. I was sad when it went away. I'm hoping that we get the big change that net neutrality was going to bring. For those of you who don't know, over 4 years ago, we were going to get rid of cable boxes. So every cable box was going to be no longer there. And they were going to force every cable company to make it an app. This would, of course, save everyone from spending that $5 a month for every single cable box in your house, which is a complete ripoff. So that was one thing that I was looking forward to, that they were going to enforce. That did get stopped, but hopefully with this whole thing that we will get it back. So again, don't like to talk about politics too much because again, we don't want to get into all the details on every single policy. But when it comes to electronics, net neutrality being back could really spell good things for internet speeds and definitely give consumers greater choice. So hopefully we will get more internet providers in our areas. Because I don't know about you, but most people that I know hate the only cable or DirecTV, or sorry, not DirecTV, I keep saying DirecTV, hate the cable provider or AT&T or Verizon provider that's in their area because it's the only one they can get. So I cannot wait for us to have more choices to have better pricing and better service. So yeah, that was really exciting. All right, guys, now let's get to your questions. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. All right, let's get started with your guys' questions. Joseph, how are you doing, Ricky? How was your weekend going? Going pretty good. Just had a lot of work to do. I finally recorded. It was like a 45-minute videos before editing. The top Android apps of 2021. My God, there is no must-have apps video on Android tablet. So this will be great that I'm going to be doing the first one basically, because there is nothing good. Like there is no good must-have tablet apps. So I went over everything. I really dug deep from photo editing to video editing, all that kind of stuff. Everything you could use the tablet for, I got into it. So definitely really cool for that purpose. How are you doing there? Best tech show ever. Thank you so much for that, Paul. That intro is still cool. I'm glad you do like it. Why is Black Widow getting bad reviews? I don't know. I actually loved Black Widow. I didn't do a review on it. Maybe I think it's too late. I should have done it on Friday if I was going to do it. I saw it Thursday night. Packed theater, loved being with everyone again. Like when the Marvel logo came up at the very beginning of the movie, that's not a spoiler, everyone freaked out. I was like, yeah, wow. You know, it was so great to have that energy back. Like I had missed it so much. So I cannot wait. It's so great. Like I can't wait already for Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. That's the next Marvel movie. I can't wait to get tickets for that. Like I am just so excited to go to the next Marvel thing because it's just so great. There's nothing like a Marvel crowd, I feel like. I mean, you could be a fan of DC, but they have not had those. Like the biggest moment for DC, I swear to God, I'll still remember this, was everyone looking like this when Martha happened. When Martha happened, that's what everyone did in the theater. That was what everyone was like, really? Like, really? And again, that was opening night, so I just remember that. I always remember that. Everyone was just like... So yeah, but Black Widow, I don't know why it's getting bad reviews. I'm guessing it's getting bad reviews from critics because it had like a 90 plus, let me see here. Rotten Tomatoes. It had like a 90% plus audience score last I checked. So yeah, so it has an 80% score. It has an 80% score tomato meter, so it's definitely fresh. But a 92% score on Rotten Tomatoes from the audience. So yeah, no, it's a good movie. The what do you call it? The after credit scene definitely ties into Disney Plus. So there is an after credit scene. Of course, it's a Marvel movie. You should already know. There's only one though. But yeah, so it ties into Disney Plus. So that's all I'm going to say about it. But definitely watch the after credit scene. It does tie into that. But I loved it. But it doesn't have bad ratings. It has a 80. I think it was an 80% fresh and 92% audience rating. So no, go see Black Widow. I think It's an awesome movie. I remember even my wife was like saying like, I'm glad it was good because it would have sucked if we waited all this time and it wasn't good. So definitely a good movie. The whole Perez family household liked it, so definitely I would recommend it. What do you think about the Pixel 6 foldable phone? It's a myth. It's not happening. Pixel is working on a foldable device, but it's not happening this year. So yeah. As far as I know, I mean, if it changes, great, but no leaks have pointed towards a foldable phone this year. Let's see. Hey, Ricky, the Galaxy Buds Pro are Sony XM4 worth the upgrade? I'm not sure, to be quite honest. I'm not sure which headphones I would get right now. Believe it or not, I did a headphone test this week. I meant to post the image on Instagram, but basically I was running with all of these headphones, right? So 4 different headphones. And the two that stood out to be the most clear for different reasons was these new Clear Ally Plus 2 headphones that are $129, and these Pixel Buds A, which are only $100. So the Pixel Bud A actually did the best job of removing background noise. And at a Starbucks, that's very impressive. As you guys always know, I always do a Starbucks test because Starbucks is the loudest place you can go to. There's people talking, there's people making drinks, clinking, banging, all that kind of stuff. So you really have to have a good quality microphone and good noise canceling on a call. That is different from noise canceling normally. So yeah, these did a really good job of that. And then the Clear had the best overall sound. You could hear the background noise a bit more, but best overall sound in terms of me being clear, not as loud. Like each one had different benefits, and I'll go over that in the reviews. But it was just really interesting to see. So I've not tested the XM4s, but I heard that their noise canceling microphone on a call isn't as good as some of the others that we've seen, like the Galaxy Buds Pro. So we'll have to wait and see. I haven't had an interest in getting these right now because I just have so many other microphones that I'm testing, or so many other headphones I'm testing out right now. But I'll see if I get them. But as of right now, I've heard their call quality isn't as good that we would want to see. I wonder how they will case for the S Pen. Yeah, that's I guess the one thing we haven't seen, right? How will the case be for the S Pen? That is a good question. I'm very curious to see how it goes. FE may be good for my dad. FE is a great phone. Definitely take a look at it. Also, though, to be quite honest, take a look at the S20 FE. As it keeps going down in price, you could see it for $500 to $400 before it leaves. So definitely take a look at that one too, because really the Galaxy FE S20 to S21 doesn't look like it's going to be that much of an upgrade. So just keep that in mind. Do you think that Samsung will offer $800 trade-in for the Z Flip 5G if they want a Z Flip 3? I think it will all depend on how much the device is. So I think if the Z Flip 3, right, if the Z Flip 3 is going to be $1,300, I could easily see it being $800 trade-in. I think if it's going to be $1,000, I think you're going to get less trade-in value. So I think it's all going to depend on the price of the device. That's my opinion. Hope new buds are actually good for call quality. I think call quality is the main thing we're missing in buds that I definitely want to keep seeing improving and improving. We need some icons for members. Cough, cough. Gotcha, Rudy. I will start back and working on that. I did... obviously, I haven't had the ability to spend that much on changing the channel as much than other things I can do on the website. But I will look into that of getting some custom-made icons for all of you members out there. So I will work on that for sure. I'm looking forward to the Google Pixel 6 foldable phone. Again, we haven't really heard that much about it in terms of it actually happening this year. I do not believe it's going to be the 6. Because foldable phones are the future and going to be more and more full-blown phones coming. I do think that it is the future, one of the futures. I believe the true future of phones will be glasses. I truly do believe that. I've said that for years. I believe in 10 years we're going to have smart glasses that effectively replace phones. And people say it's crazy. People say it's, we're nowhere near it. But honestly, I just see it more and more making sense. We'll wait and see. But yeah, that's still my bet. In 10 years' time, that's what we're going to see. Did I miss the S22 or has it not been announced? The S22 is not till next year. There's nothing coming out this year for the S22. Looking forward to the Galaxy Watch 4 Classic. So am I. Indeed, wonder if the Buds can pass the Starbucks test. Yeah, I mean, Galaxy Buds are not the best at it. They're good, but they're not the best at it. Can't wait for the Watch 4 Classic. Should be good trade-in for the Galaxy Watch 3. Yes, I do believe the Galaxy Watch 3 should be about $200 trade-in my opinion, but we'll have to wait and see. I just got Wi-Fi 6. Now I have to get Wi-Fi 6E. What is this sorcery? I have Wi-Fi 6 too. I'm very happy with it. It's awesome. So yeah, Wi-Fi 6E is only getting more and more in demand, and we'll definitely want to see how it goes. Due to the chip shortage, I don't think the S22 is coming out this year. The S22 was never planned for this year. I don't know why that's being said. The S21 came out this year. The S22 will come out next year. They're lining it up with the years, guys. So if it's the year 21, it's going to be the S21. If it's the year 22, it's going to be the S22. If it's the year 23, it's going to be the S23. That's what it is. 90 hertz or 120 hertz on the Pixel. That has not been confirmed, although I don't see why it wouldn't be 120 hertz on the Pro and 90 hertz on the regular, which is how it went. So I do believe that's probably going to be what we're seeing. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions loaded. Everybody drink. But now I have to see what to do with the S20. I was waiting for the 22. Yep, then you'll wait for Q1 of next year. I'm waiting for the Note. That's one thing I definitely want. Do any Pixels have pen functions? No. That is one thing, Warren, is that, if you are looking to replace your last year's Note or Note 10 even with the Pixel Pro, you are not going to have a pen. Now, could they put a pen? Yeah, they could. I mean, LG did it, right? LG in their LG Velvet, LG in their G8X, both had pen input from Wacom. So, could it happen? Absolutely. It's just up to Google to pay that extra money to do it. I think it will have to do with the cost, for sure. Is it 120 hertz though? Again, that was not revealed, so we'll have to wait and see. Over the Pixel Fold, again, nothing about the Pixel Fold coming out this year right now. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions flooded. Everybody drink. You don't want 5 years of updates. Phones will slow and won't run features anyway. I completely agree with that. You get a stacked pyramid style of updates that way. That's what iOS does. Just because you get the latest iOS doesn't mean you actually get everything that iOS has to offer. That is not the same thing, and that is what's going to happen. So yeah. Emulators have been out for years. Yes, but emulators haven't been as good in terms of being on Android and not PC. PC, obviously, you can get an emulator for the Switch, you can get an emulator for the PS4 and the PC, but not so much for Android. What do you think about the new Nintendo Switch? So the biggest thing that techies will kind of take a look at with the new Nintendo Switch is the pixels per inch of the PPI is actually less because it's still a 720p display, on a 7-inch screen instead of a 6.2-inch screen. So the pixels per inch is actually less, but also the main thing you should know about it is it's an older OLED technology. It's the pentile OLED technology. So basically it's a cheaper version of OLED that we haven't seen for like 40 years on a smartphone. So it's a cheaper version of OLED. And obviously, look, it's a $350 product. So, you know, they have to cut costs somewhere. I understand this. But would I have rather seen a 1080p OLED display at $399? Yeah. Yeah, I would have. The rumor is now everyone's talking about like, oh, well, maybe we're going to get a Pro next year. Not if the OLED version sells well. The whole idea is that people are right in the fact that did Switch really need to do a Pro version? Only to get more purchases from the people that already have Switches. So basically what it would have done was everyone that has a Switch would have got a Pro. That's what would have happened. Well, most people that are into that kind of stuff, I should say. So yeah, it really is something where I have to say, with everything that happened with it, I think it's okay. It's definitely not a must-have. I would have liked to see some changes. I mean, you have these Nintendo Switch controllers, certified by Nintendo, but not made by Nintendo, from Hori. And I have that on my channel, the Hori, or the Nintendo Switch controllers. And basically they are bomb. Like I've had them since like, they stay on my Switch because they have excellent grip, are way better size than Joy-Cons. And they don't have drift issues, they don't have all that kind of stuff, they're just better. So yeah, I really wish that would be better off. But yeah, with the Nintendo Switch, will I get it? Well, here's the thing. I've been thinking for a long time to get another Switch for the house. So one can go to my daughter, and basically, you know, okay, so should I now get this OLED one for my house? I'm debating on that. I mean, I guess it would be nicer just to have an OLED display. The people that have previewed it, they're not allowed to film it right now, but they did say it's noticeably brighter and it is a better looking screen. It's not the biggest like, oh my God, this is so much better. But it's like, oh, this is clearly better when you look side by side, and definitely brighter. So that's what I think about the new Switch. I think expectations did set us up for a lot of disappointment, but that is unfortunately how, you know, rampant rumor mill stuff can get sometimes. Hey Ricky, can you tell me the difference between a 120 hertz and a 60 hertz? My cousin do tests between the Note 10 Plus and the S21 Ultra, no difference. Oh man, I mean, it's hard to say it. I mean, there's way better videos that can get into more of the technical aspects of it, but you basically want simple wording for it, simple reasoning. So it's a smoother experience. The easiest way to check it is the example they give when they let you switch. And that is when you scroll up and down, it is just a much, much smoother look to it. The only other time you're really going to notice is when you're playing faster frames per second. So if you're playing if you record a 60 frames per second video, it's going to look better on a higher hertz display. Same thing with when you have a higher hertz display, it's definitely going to look better when you're gaming as well. Everything just moves quicker. That is what the hertz is doing, so that it just looks smoother, it looks better. But does it matter to everyone? No, absolutely not. It matters to techies. So yeah, the fact that YouTubers are still saying like, oh, it's such an important thing, it's such an important thing, the average person doesn't notice it. I mean, look, for instance, you know, my mom, my wife have both had higher hertz refresh rates displays. They haven't said it looks nicer in that aspect. It doesn't make any difference. So that it is a thing about that where you have to consider what's out there for sure. Hey, Ricky, good job as always. What do you think about the Pixel Fold? Do you think the Pixel 6 Pro will have fast charging? Please check your email when you can. I will check it when I get a chance. But again, we haven't really heard anything about the Pixel Fold. I know a lot of you guys are asking questions about it, but here, let me just check the news to make sure. But I haven't heard anything about the Pixel Fold coming out this year. In terms of it. So yeah, I mean, nothing really talked about that would make me think that there is a Pixel Fold coming soon. It is just basically rumors and what we know. Google's worked on a foldable phone, but nothing about it being actual or real. True or not, Tab S8, Tab S8 Ultra coming out later, not this year. From what I've heard, it's still coming out this year, the Tab S8 and Tab S8 Ultra. I don't think Samsung really has to worry about that one as much with the chip shortage because they don't sell as many of the high-end tablets. You know, the A series is what sells on all their tablets, or the one that they've delayed because of the chip shortage that will sell a lot is the Tab S7 FE. Now that one is going to sell a lot, so that one is probably the one that is having the most trouble. It could be held back the most. Ricky, lately I've been having trouble with my speech to text. When I'm trying to use it, for instance, I write, I have a nice day, repeat it twice. I mean, if you just use speech to text for that whole sentence, I just corrected it as I was reading it, but definitely repeating itself. I'm not sure what exactly would be the best course. I would try resetting it. If you actually go to Google Speech to Text in your apps, you can clear the cache and clear the data, and then you should be able to then update it again from the app itself or from the Play Store, and that will effectively reset it back to factory, and hopefully that will fix whatever issue you're having. My photos are being deleted. Short and sweet, tell me. Tell me to switch to OneDrive. What do I do? S10 Plus. The first thing I have to ask you is, you're saying your photos are being deleted. Are they on a memory card? Because it could be the memory card is corrupted. If the memory card is corrupted, then yes, stop using that memory card, put another one in there, or just use the internal storage. Should you switch to OneDrive? You can. I definitely prefer Google Photos over OneDrive. OneDrive to me does not organize your photos anywhere near as good comparison to Google Drive, and they're competitively priced against each other. So for me, it's an easy no-brainer. Use Google Photos, and I think it will be much better than OneDrive. Yeah, I heard Black Widow is pretty good. I definitely thought Black Widow was really good. I live in the Caribbean. I get 4G LTE, both Xiaomi and Samsung. I know a lot to ask. Redmi Note 10 Pro Max or Samsung A52, which one should I get? Can you see the specs of both phones? Thanks. So I know the A52. I do not know the Redmi. I don't know most of the Redmi series, just not as much interest in them. So let me see though. Actually, we can compare it to the A52 with GSM's A52 5G or A52. I'm guessing the international version of the A52. So let's see. Okay, so let's check it out. Both have Gorilla Glass 5. This one has a higher water and dust resistance rating. It has a more of a splash protection, but it does not have definitely going underwater with the 10 Pro. So in terms of brightness, I mean, the typical brightness is a lot lower on this phone. It can get a really good peak, but definitely not standard. In terms of refresh rate, this is a slightly faster one. So they both have the same pixels, but This one is bigger, which means you get a bigger display with this one. However, the pixels per inch is actually better, slightly granted, but on the A52. So in terms of processors, slightly better on the Xiaomi. Obviously, you have lots of different RAM capabilities. So RAM and storage is the same on both, effectively, just because it depends on which one you want. See, I would actually choose the Samsung camera because it is a bigger sensor and it has a lower f-stop. So your photo quality is actually going to be better on Samsung comparing to this one. Even though it has a 108 megapixel camera, it's actually going to be better on this one. Let's see, ultra wide. You have a wider lens in this one. Same size sensor at least. And everything else the same. This one you can do 120 hertz FPS, but that's still not really popular in most places. This one easily has a better front camera, like easily. Yes, this is a bigger sensor, you could say, but it is definitely going to be a better f-stop here where you don't, I mean, f2.5 is not a good f-stop for a selfie camera. You're basically not going to be able to take too many low light photos for that. So yeah, I like this one better, to be quite honest, in terms of it. And yeah, so overall for me, or what's the battery size? I think that's the only thing I didn't check out. Don't know if I skipped it somewhere. I'm missing the battery. Oh, there it is. 5,000, 4,500. Okay, so this one has a bigger battery. Overall, I like the Samsung better for most things, but I mean, yeah, I just think the Samsung's going to be a better overall, better updates and better software too. For me, I would choose the Samsung between these two. I like the A52. I had no issues with it when I was using it too. Have you had any problems with the Google Chrome on your phone? It's not allowing to update. Already sent a message to Google. Thank you. No. No, I haven't had any problems with Google at all. In terms of using it, I've been using it just fine. It's updated on my phone, so I'm not sure which phone you meant. But I haven't had any issues with any of them. I mean, right now my two daily drivers are the S21 Ultra and the OnePlus. And then I'm going to be also doing that for the TCL 20 Pro, so I'll be doing that one soon, but yeah. What apps do you have on your son's tablet? So my son, actually, you want to know what his tablet is? I guarantee you he has a bigger tablet than any of you right now. My son's tablet is the Galaxy View. So it's an 18.4 inch tablet. That is his tablet. And basically what he does is he actually plays a couple of games on there, some kid games that he has like gotten good at. It's like Sesame Street, like you make cookies, but he's able to do it like no problem. And then also he watches a lot of kids YouTube. So I try to steer him towards like learning words and all this kind of stuff. Like we're constantly playing this one recently, where he's learning things like nose, chin, lips, eyes, hair. So he's getting to learn that. So I'm like, touch your nose, and then he's like that. So those are the kind of things that kind of going over with him right now. So yeah. Yeah, I messed up the S22 and S21. Yep, that's a completely different thing. Can't wait for Samsung to control all the leaks on their upcoming products. Yep, they're pretty much going to. Will we be able to use an S Pen on the Flip 3 too? No. You might have missed it a couple weeks back, but we did have our insider Mullet Baby let us know that they were going to come out with a Flip 3 Pro. And that one was going to have S Pen capability, but it just didn't work out price-wise, and it didn't work out assembly line-wise because of the chip shortage, so they scrapped that one. So no, there will not be one like that, so yeah. It seems through Rigsby brand fireworks have finally passed. I hope so. We have not had fireworks. Scratch that. We had, one or two fireworks still every other night, but not constantly going like it was. So yeah, hopefully we won't have that as much. 51st Day questions, Rigsby edition, 1.16 million hertz refresh rate. That's right. That's the Rigsby edition version. But yes, as always, we will shamelessly plug my app, 51st Day Questions, a great game that you can enjoy on the Google Play Store or on the iOS App Store. Really fun game just to do on a first date or to do with your significant other on any date night. Find out what they're thinking, find out if you guys are compatible. 51st Dates in the links in the description down below. How good is the 100 times zoom on the S21 Ultra, and next year's will come out to 120 hertz zoom. 120 zoom. The 100 zoom isn't really used. Like, the only time you would use that kind of zoom is basically when you're taking a picture of the moon, which the moon does look good. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I remember seeing, let's see if I can find it. I'm gonna use Samsung search, so I'm not sure. No, it's not. Samsung search for photos is nowhere near as Google search for photos. So let me search moon. And don't know if you can see that, but that is a photo I took with my phone. That is a photo that I took with the S21 Ultra, and it didn't always come out as nice. That's pretty good, right there. So if I wanted to zoom in on it, you can see a little bit more pixelation, but that is a photo that I took with my phone. That is the main reason you would use that crazy zoom, is to get these insane looking photos of the moon and space and all that kind of stuff. But that's what you would use it for. You wouldn't use that kind of zoom for anything else. But yeah, so that's what you would use the zoom for. I don't think you're going to be, I guess, again, if you're sightseeing in the city that you haven't been to and you wanted to zoom all the way to a skyscraper, you could. So yeah, that's the other time you would probably use it. But the moon is just so good. It's such a good looking shot for sure. Due to not liking the S21 Ultra, should I sell it and get OnePlus 9 Pro or Oppo Find X3 Pro, since both are compatible with Verizon service? I do not know enough about the Oppo Find X3, so I couldn't tell you too much about it. But the OnePlus 9 that I have has been really good, no complaints whatsoever. I don't know that I would say the OnePlus 9 Pro is going to be better than the S21 Ultra, but if you just want a different phone, I think it would serve its purpose for sure. Oh my goodness, App has the Galaxy View for a tablet. That's pretty cool. He's a pretty cool kid. Why has the S Pen Pro come out yet? Waiting for a Bluetooth feature. It's probably going to come out with the Fold 3. That's what we're hearing. Could it be delayed wait till the Tab S8 in early September? Yes, but we'll have to wait and see. Why is the Pixel camera so good? Is it the software? Yes. Would you say Google engineers are more talented than Apple engineers because of software? Yes, on both counts. Google started the entire trend of really perfecting the camera through software. Apple and Samsung caught up to Google, but Google was miles and miles ahead of it, with having lower quality cameras. Google physical camera was garbage in comparison to Samsung and Apple for the past 3 years. But when it comes to the software was so good that it was completely comparable, if not better. So definitely a huge difference between the two for sure. Yeah, I always like pictures in the sky of the moon. Yeah, that's for sure. That is true. App has Xander Meets World YouTube channel, so subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my son's channel, Xander Meets World. Quiet Storm has put it in the link in the description. For right now, it's been me on the channel, but I'm going over the video editing with my wife to make sure to see how much we have him in the video and playing with the new toys. So yeah. All right, guys, let me know if you guys have any other questions, but if not, we're going to start wrapping up. This week, we are going to have the must-have apps for tablets. We might be having the last Tech Deals video for a while, to be quite honest. I don't know if I'll be able to maintain it while working, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Again, I just don't know how it's going to go when I start working a week later, so no promises yet on that. We will bring back the drive videos. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for that. We are going to bring that back as I begin driving again in the morning. So yeah, lots of stuff coming down the line for that. Lots of headphone videos. I'm going to try to get 2 headphone videos out this week, as well as the OnePlus 9 review either by Saturday or by next Monday. So yeah, lots of good stuff coming, and should be lots of fun stuff. I will let you guys know on one other thing I recently got in the studio that I'm going to really have some fun with, and that is a 3D printer. So I have a 3D printer that I'm going to be testing out and seeing how it goes. So should be lots of fun there. All right, guys, let me know what you guys think. Ricky, would you ever charge for answering questions? You know, it's funny. I was approached by a company to actually, when I was looking for a job and all that kind of stuff, I was asked by them to basically answer, would I be willing to answer questions that people have about tech, and they would charge people fees, and I would be getting commission for it. For each question that I answer and the customer satisfied. So that is more, if it's like an in-depth where I have to like know what you're working with, know what that kind of stuff, yes, I'm open to a system like that. But I mean, if it's just a question that I can answer live on the show, I'm going to answer it live on the show. I'm not going to charge people for that. So that's the difference. Why do people like foam tip earbuds? They seem to rip easily. I think it's more for the comfort. I feel like those create a better seal, but also some people like the comfort level that you can wear them for longer periods. Some people like them worse for that. They think they're actually worse when it comes to that kind of stuff. So we'll have to see which way people go. Some are also hard to fit, like Clear has 6 different tips that come with theirs, and none of them fit my ears perfectly. I'm going to keep trying to do that before the review, but man, like at least I've gone through the 3 that I normally use, and none of them fit my ears great compared to other ones that just fit perfect. So yeah, everyone's ears are different, is what I'm trying to say. Congrats on the job situation. Thank you very much. Hello, Ricky. Good job as always. What phones would you rank the highest when it comes to camera on a phone? This is because if the phone can be used as a camcorder. When it comes to video quality, there's only 2 that are peak, I would say, and that is Samsung and Apple. I think Apple is always really good consistently, and a lot of people call them the best. I don't, because they don't do low light as well as Samsung, in my opinion. So when it comes to low light, I think you're going to have a better experience with Samsung. But those are going to be the 2 best, I would say, in terms of video quality. Both film at the best quality, which I still always will maintain, is 4K at 60 frames per second. So really good. However, Samsung did introduce a new stability to the 1080p at 60 frames, and I believe Apple has that as well on their last phone. I would have to check on that off the top of my head. I don't remember when I'm using it, but that is really good because it's 1080p, but it is stable. So it's kind of like a GoPro in terms of its stability. Although I will say nothing beats a GoPro. This is still the only thing I would use for driving videos because this kind of shaking, you don't see it at all. Congrats on the job. Thank you so much. What's the best browser on Android? For me, I will always go with Chrome browser. I won't even look at another browser just because I like continuing where I left off of things. So because I use Chrome on my, home laptop, I have everything set so I could just pull up exactly where I left off on a tab or anything like that on my phone. So that I can't replace with, oh, this one has no ads or this one has no this. I'll deal with whatever. Do I wish Chrome would be better over time? Absolutely. I want Chrome to keep improving, but at the same time, I truly do believe that I will always keep using Chrome over any other browser. All right, guys, that will be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you can, make sure to hit that like, thumbs up button before you head out. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you on the next video. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy.
Thank you so much again for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below. Also, follow us on social media at YouTube Tech Guy, and check out some more great tech videos on your screen.